Women will deny it, pretend it doesn't affect them, act like they don't notice it. But if you watch closely, you'll see the truth in the way they move, the way they talk, the way their eyes shift when a certain kind of man walks in. Women react differently around older men, and the reason isn't what people assume. It's not age, it's not status, it's not some fantasy idea of maturity. It's something deeper, something subtle, something women feel in their body long before they understand it in their mind. When an older man enters a room, he carries a type of presence younger men just don't have yet. Not the loud, show-off kind of presence, not the pretending to be confident type. I'm talking about the kind of presence that comes from surviving storms, from losing and rebuilding, from learning the hard way. It's the presence of a man who isn't trying to impress anyone anymore. And women feel that. They feel it instantly. So today, buddy, I'm going to break down the 4 things older men do, often without trying, that make women go crazy. This is the psychology behind calm masculinity, stoicism, emotional control, and the kind of grounded energy that pulls a woman in without a single word. And the best part? You don't need to be older to embody this. Any man who's willing to grow can build these traits. Let's get into it. The first thing older men do is simple but powerful. They don't rush for her attention. Most men act like attention is oxygen. They chase it. They beg for it. They get nervous when they don't receive it. They reply instantly. They overthink every text. They try too hard to be relevant in her world, and every time they do this, they lose a little bit of their value. Chasing makes her feel like she's the one leading the story. Chasing signals insecurity. Chasing makes her feel too important, too soon. But an older man? He doesn't move like that. He doesn't chase attention because he doesn't need it to feel alive. He's lived enough life to realize that attention from a woman is not a trophy, it's not a source of identity, it's not what makes him a man. So he doesn't rush, he doesn't panic, he doesn't try to force connection, and that slow, calm behavior hits her differently. A younger man's attention is loud and quick like a firework. An older man's attention is warm and steady like sunlight. It doesn't burn out, it doesn't seek approval, it simply exists. And that drives women insane in a very specific way. They start wondering why he's so calm, why he's not chasing her, why they can't predict him, why they feel the need to chase him instead. That difference in energy makes her lean toward him. It makes her think about him more than she expects. And the funniest part? He's not even trying to make her feel that way. He just has a life, a real life, responsibilities, goals, peace. A man with a full life naturally becomes the man women want to chase. And here's where Stoicism magnifies that effect. A Stoic man doesn't react out of fear. He doesn't give attention out of insecurity. He's not controlled by his emotions. He gives energy only when it makes sense to him, not when his mind anxiously screams, "Hurry, do something." That emotional discipline is rare. Women feel it deeply. A man who doesn't chase becomes the man she's drawn to. That's psychology. That's human behavior. And older men naturally master it because life has already humbled them and taught them patience. Women crave that patience more than they admit. The second thing older men do is that they speak less, but what they say hits harder. Younger men often talk too much. They talk from nerves. They talk because silence scares them. They talk because they think filling every gap makes them look confident. But talking too much usually reveals insecurity. It exposes fear. It exposes neediness. But an older man, he's not scared of silence. Silence is not a threat to him. Silence doesn't make him uncomfortable. He speaks only when he actually has something real to say. And because of that, every word feels stronger. Not because he's trying to sound wise, but because he's not afraid to be quiet. Women go crazy for that. A man who isn't scared of silence automatically feels stronger. Silence becomes a sign of emotional stability. And emotional stability is one of the most attractive things a man can offer. When an older man talks, he talks simple. He uses normal words. He doesn't try to sound smart. He doesn't try to impress with vocabulary. He just communicates clearly. And clarity is attractive. Calm is attractive. Control is attractive. He doesn't overshare. He doesn't ramble. He listens. He observes. He thinks. And when he finally speaks, she listens. Because women don't just hear the words, they feel the calm behind the words. They feel the maturity behind the words. They feel the experience behind the words. Stoicism teaches men to control their mouth before trying to control anything else. Older men naturally do this because life already showed them the cost of careless words, and women feel the weight of that control. A man who doesn't talk too much becomes a mystery without trying. A man who chooses his words wisely becomes unforgettable without effort. That kind of communication drives women crazy in ways loud confidence never will. The third thing older men do is live with purpose. And I don't mean fake purpose, not the I'm grinding talk you see online, not the loud bragging, not the dramatic speeches about goals. I'm talking about quiet direction. Real purpose is silent. Real purpose doesn't need attention. Real purpose feels like a man who knows where he's going, even if he doesn't talk about it. Women can sense when a man is drifting through life. A man with no purpose feels like an empty room, nothing to hold on to, nothing to trust, nothing to follow. Women don't want that. They want a man who wakes up with intention, a man whose life is bigger than his emotions, a man who stands for something. Older men often have this naturally because they've lived long enough to build something, maybe a skill, maybe a career, maybe a passion, maybe discipline. And that direction gives them calm. Purpose gives them a center. A man with purpose is harder to manipulate, harder to distract, harder to emotionally control, and that makes him attractive in a way women can feel immediately. Purpose is not loud, it doesn't need applause, it just shows in the way he moves, the way he decides, the way he behaves. A man with purpose doesn't chase after meaningless things. He doesn't get lost in cheap attention. He doesn't rely on women to fill emotional gaps. That alone makes him valuable. Stoicism teaches that you should focus only on what you can control, your actions, your path, your choices. Older men tend to live like this because they've already felt the pain of being directionless. They know the danger of drifting, and women feel safe around men who have direction, not because they want to be taken care of, but because a man with purpose creates emotional safety. He's stable, he's grounded, he won't collapse the moment something goes wrong. That's the kind of man women chase without meaning to. And the fourth thing older men do, the one that hits women the hardest, is that they don't break when life gets hard. Younger men crack under pressure because they haven't built emotional muscle yet. They panic, they react too fast, they complain, they take things personally, they crumble when things don't go their way. But older men, they've already lived through storms. They've loved and lost. They've been betrayed. They've been disappointed. They've failed. They've rebuilt. They've been humbled. Life has knocked them down enough times to teach them something younger men don't learn early. Pain doesn't kill you. Panic does. Overreaction does. Losing control does. So when a difficult moment shows up, an older man doesn't collapse. He breathes, he observes, he thinks, he stays composed, he responds slowly, calmly, with intention. And that emotional strength is unbelievably attractive to women. It makes them feel safe. It makes them trust him. It makes them open up. It makes them crave him in a deeper way. Women don't want a man who never feels pain. They want a man who doesn't drown in it. A man who stays steady no matter what. Stoicism teaches emotional discipline, not repression, but control. The Stoic man knows that life won't always be fair, but he refuses to let chaos break his inner balance. Older men often live this way naturally because they've already learned what matters and what doesn't. And when a woman sees that a man stays calm in chaos, something in her shifts. She feels safe. She feels respect. she feels drawn to him. She sees him as the man she can stand beside without fear. These 4 things, calm attention, steady communication, real purpose and emotional strength, are why women go crazy for older men. It's not the number of years, it's the energy those years created, it's the quiet confidence, it's the depth, it's the grounded presence. And any man, no matter his age, can build these traits if he decides to grow. Women aren't attracted to older men, they're attracted to these qualities. So build them, live them, carry them with quiet confidence, and watch how everything changes. If this hit you, buddy, make sure you like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe to Behavior Insight. More powerful psychology and masculine wisdom coming your way soon.